welcome to the next episode of Mind Talk Interviews. In this series, we introduce IT companies who are building amazing things in fields like cybersecurity. Today, I'm speaking with Gideon Shmuel from Enigmatos, who will share insights about the company and the connection between cybersecurity and the automotive industry. This conversation is a preview of the webinar they will be hosting at Cybersecurity e-Summit. So be sure to register to join the full session and gain even more valuable insights. The link is in the bio. Now, let's begin. Hi, Gideon. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.
I would love to start with a bit of background. Could you briefly share the story behind Enigmatos? What inspired you to start the company?
So I didn't start the company, but I'm very involved with the company. Eyal, the executive chairman, started the company. So I think it's a combination of things. On one hand, a few years back, there was a lot of interest in automotive cybersecurity, that you implement some kind of a safety element on the processor, on the ECUs that go into the car. But they protect really only specific ECUs, not the whole vehicle. And then Eyal, who has multiple businesses, also has a kind of a aftermarket business working with some big automotive importers, was installing some device in the vehicle, and with a small easy mistake, the device was starting to write to the CAN bus. The CAN bus is the network in the vehicle that connects all the ECUs. And it became like a DDoS attack, actually sending a lot of messages, and the vehicle stopped. Think that it wasn't a mistake, but a malicious activity while a security car is driving on the road, and it would just stop. This incident made him realize that the ECU level protection is just not good enough. And you need a layer above that sits and sees all the traffic in the car between all the different devices that can alert you if there's something strange, some anomaly is taking place that could eventually be a threat to the vehicle, to the people in it, to the equipment that it's carrying, the inventory that it's carrying. And this is how Enigmatos started.
Thanks. Cybersecurity is becoming more and more critical in automotive. How do you see the connection between the automotive industry and cybersecurity evolving over the next few years?
Sure. So look, everyone is thinking about the security of their servers, their data center, the workstations, the applications, the APIs. But if you think about it, the financial impact on a fleet, and think, what is a fleet? It could be trucks carrying goods. It could be buses carrying children or travelers. It could be law enforcement. It could be medical services. It could be a lot of different things. And actually, fleets can carry more assets than an organization. The world economy is driven by this last mile. You can bring goods from China on a boat, but then how does it get to the distribution center? It doesn't. It can stay on the boat. You can manufacture food, but how does it get to the supermarket? It doesn't. It can stay in the manufacturing. So what we see in regulation, UN regulation, is that the assets on the wheels are critical assets, super critical assets, and they have to be protected as well. And the more we speak to telematics companies, to system integrators, to CISOs, to MSSPs, they realize that these are assets that have to be protected as well.
Mm-hmm. Are there any trends in connected vehicles that concern you most?
So look, the first of all, in specifically in fleets, there's so many components that are now being integrated. Payment systems, driver monitoring systems, telematic systems, fleet management systems, fuel consumption systems, tire pressure systems, trailer monitoring systems. It's endless, endless, endless. And the big companies are being much more conscious on this trend and adding more and more devices. The more devices you add, most of them are connected, the greater the threat. Okay, so this is the first point. Second, EV cars, especially those that come from Asia, let's call it, are constantly connected, constantly monitored, constantly. When you charge them, there's actually a device that connects to the CAN bus. There's new risks actually coming from EV. So I think these two trends are making the need for fleet cybersecurity paramount and very timely.
There are quite a few players in the OT and automotive security space. In what ways does Enigmatos' approach differ from other companies?
Yeah, very good question. Very good question. So on the OT side, and I agree, this is a big trend. You have to secure the, let's call it the production level, the factories. Okay, absolutely. And here you are not sitting on a server, you're actually sitting on the machine. So you are kind of a service that sit on the individual production machine that is connected to an infrastructure, to the internet, and you make sure that no one is hurting this machine. I can tell you, I worked with a very large company out of Germany, huge company, global name. They couldn't manufacture for 6 months. The factories were taken as ransom. And I cannot say names. It was publicized. It was publicized. So that's one area, and it's on a specific machine. Okay. Then, if you look at fleet, at automotive cybersecurity, this is a lower level. What do I mean by that? I'm an OEM. I'm a Volvo truck, Mercedes-Benz. I manufacture a truck or a bus. I buy ECUs from a T1 like Bosch or Continental or Aptiv or whoever. I expect that these ECUs will be protected. We'll have kind of a firewall that will ensure that they cannot be attacked. What we do is very different from both. We look at the whole vehicle and the whole fleet from a holistic point of view. We don't look at a single machine or a single ECU in a vehicle. A CAN bus sends about 10,000 messages a second between all these ECUs. I'm braking, it sends a message to the engine sends a message to the lights, it sends, there's so much communication going on, every little thing that we do. And then you have it on the vehicle level, and then you can aggregate it on the fleet level. And this is what we do. We look at all these kind of anomalies. We look at the patterns. And if suddenly there's a new pattern in few of the vehicles in a specific geographic region, for example, after they came from a garage, we can assume that there's a potential risk here that something happened in this garage, some software upload or whatever that is now compromising the vehicle, or potentially. So it's a very different approach from what is known today.
And how do you balance innovation with regulatory requirements?
So we constantly follow the new standards that are coming out in automotive. And we like them a lot because actually it gives us a backwind, as they say, that the education is over. You know, even that the regulations are on the ECU level, the vehicle the fleet owners understand that it's just not good enough. And the regulation will expand. And we need to ensure we work all the time on new detectors, adding more information from the CAN bus, new areas in the vehicle. So we are constantly evolving moving from a device to the cloud, from the cloud to the device. We're doing all this kind of optimization to meet the trends in the market and the regulations in the market. So if telematic devices are becoming very, very, very common, how can we sit on a device with a small SDK that takes almost no footprint from the telematics, for example? It's a very, very strong innovation.
Thanks, Gideon. Let's move on. Partnerships are key in this space. So what kinds of partnerships or collaboration are you currently looking for? For example,
Absolutely.
integrators.
So we look at a variety of partnerships. First of all, we very much believe in partnerships. We don't think that we as a small startup can reach enough fleets. So we have today multiple partnerships. We have, for example, in Germany, cybersecurity experts that do a lot of the mitigation testing and crisis management in cybersecurity events. And they actually tested our systems, attacked together with us a vehicle to see how easy it is. And they're not coming as an integrator or just a sales team, but they're working with big companies that have fleets and going to promote the need. Another example is a very good system integrator that you know from Hungary that is providing variety of services, fleet management, cybersecurity to enterprise and vehicles, including public transportation. Exactly the kind of partner we are looking for. We're working now with an MSSP that provide variety of SOC services. You know, it's cyber like NOC, cyber operating center to enterprises. Now they're adding Enigmatos as a component of their SOC. So if vehicles are being potentially compromised, it will be in the SOC and they will be promoting it to their customers. So these are the kind of partners. Eventually, we will look to work with telematics companies as well. We are working with a couple already. Obviously, there's a lot of telematics companies and a lot of different boxes that are being implemented in the vehicle. We believe that first we need to win a bit more fleets and then come to them with these opportunities, but very much so we see these in the future as important partners as well.
And are there regions where partnerships are especially strategic?
We're very much focused currently on Europe, and hopefully soon we'll start looking at the US as well. But Europe, it's a big continent, a lot of borders, a lot of movement of goods, a lot of stops on the way. So there's always a risk element that needs to be monitored.
Let's move on to another topic. Challenges often shape leaders. What has been your biggest professional challenge so far, and how did you overcome it?
In Enigmatos or generally speaking?
Generally.
Ooh, look, I've been building tech startups all my life, since the early 2000s, and the challenge is always when you bring innovation, and I've always done innovation, is the education.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about not giving up. Too many companies come up with innovation and then they get tired on the way, or there's not enough funding on the way. And then, they could have been the ones that take the market, but someone else, after they educated, someone else comes and leverage the education they've done and now wins. So the biggest challenge is to continue educating until you crack, the wall and people start getting it, and then the wall just breaks and everyone needs it. And it takes time. It takes time and patience and tenacity and taking long breathing,
Yeah. Yeah, but it sounds inspiring.
It is, yeah. And today I'm lucky that personally I work with multiple startups like Enigmatos, or I'm in a fund from London, and we really try to, when I see interesting companies, I say, look, even if we invest or don't invest, or I help or don't help, you're onto something good. Don't give up. Even when it looks so difficult, don't give up. Continue.
Thanks. And my closing question is, how do you see the future of connected mobility from a cybersecurity perspective?
It's a must. There will be no fleet in the world without cybersecurity. That's it.
And
The
what?
next ransomwares that think you are in Amazon
Uh-huh.
and your supply chain is stopping. What do you do? And you don't understand how easy it is. You can be outside a depot. You can connect to the RF of the tire pressure monitoring, and from there attack the vehicle. So easy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to do it. I'm not a cyber hacker or
Yeah.
attacker, but I know I understand how easy it is. It's a, and to be honest, if you search, you see there's more and more news around it. It's still being kept a little bit secret because people don't want to talk about it. Like you don't hear about OT, you don't hear almost on attacks on factories. They are every day.
And what new challenges do you expect in the next 3 or 5 years?
I think the challenge will move from education to delivery. We feel it. We feel that the market is starting to realize and want, and it's coming up in tenders and regulations. And suddenly we'll have so many opportunities because you have the ECU protection or us. And we will have to move very quickly and build the team and be able to fulfill the demand.
Okay, thank you so much, Gideon, for the great conversation, and wishing you and your team great success with your upcoming projects and opportunities.
Thank
And
you, Edith.
thanks to everyone watching. Don't forget to sign up for the webinar. The link is in the bio. See you next time.